What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon NBA DFS video. It is Saturday. It is March 16th. We are back with a video. If you didn't see our other videos, go check them out. If you haven't checked out our MLB content from last year, because we are ramping up to, a week and a half from now, we're very, very excited. But we try to have giveaways every single day. If you've never been here before, you have 2 chances to win basically a lifetime pass every single day. First chance, like the video, be a subscriber, leave a comment for the comment picker. 50 likes on a video, you have a chance to win a free week. 100 likes on the video, a chance to win a free month of content. 125 likes is a chance to win a $200 yearly pass. And 150 or more likes on a video, you have a chance to win a $500 lifetime pass. The second way to do it, like the video, be a subscriber, tell me who's going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points and how many fantasy points will they score. If you get it closest without going over, you will win a free week of DFS content. That includes a week right here. A week of baseball, NASCAR, NBA, NFL, and PGA once baseball starts. We were close yesterday. We had someone do Deontay Murray at 64, and he ended up 60.25, I believe. Let's see real quick. 60.25, so we were very close. We've never had anyone get exactly correct, so if you get it exactly correct, the player on DraftKings and the exact score, you'll win a free year of content, normally $199. So we've had someone 0.25 off, so we are very, very close. I know we're going to get it. Let's continue on with hopefully we have multiple winners in this video. So let's try to push for 100 likes on this video, 150 likes if someone wants to win a lifetime pass. Another way to get some free content from us, all you got to do is, in the link in the description, we have partnered up with DFS Hero. So DFS Hero is a fantastic partner with us. They have an awesome optimizer which you can mix and match and use our information, our projections, and plug them in there, run however many lineups you want. I think up to 150 lineups if you have the basic. But if you sign up today with our link down below, you not only are going to get 15% off your first order, but if you sign up for a month pass with them, using our link down below, we are going to give you a free month of FTA Plus. If you sign up for the year, we are going to give you a free year. So go check them out. You get a 5-day free trial. So if you sign up using our link, you get a 5-day free trial. Once that 5-day free trial is up and your payment goes through, we will get a notification email, and I will go in and I will add either the month or the year to your username if you have it on the site. And if you don't have one on the site yet, you can email me and we can set you one up. So good luck to everyone, and let's check out today's content. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each game. We're going to look at the Vegas numbers real quick, and then we're going to go into each game and the players we like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the top 5 tournament plays that I like at each position, and then we're going to build a DraftKings lineup after that using one of our tools. So we have a ton of tools on the website. You guys know that. You can check them out here. But we're going to go with the fantasy points allowed by position tool. Now, this is not the only way to build a lineup, but this is one way to build a lineup, and it's been pretty successful. We got screwed over last night. We had a lot of players not play in the fourth quarter. We had players not score in the fourth quarter, even though they were playing. So a lot was left to be desired after yesterday. So we are back. We have sports betting on top of everything. So just kind of looking at the list real quick, Embiid is out. Davis, James, Ball, Curry, Jackson, they're all questionable, most likely going to be moved to. Like, these 2 are most likely going to play. They just have the questionable tag every single day. There's a lot of questionable tags on players that I would like. Brogdon's out. Bagley is out. Mo Williams is out. Stevens, Melton, these guys are all out. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the Vegas numbers real quick. So in the description of this video is also our Discord link. If you want to go there, I put out core plays every single day, both Fanduel and DraftKings. I also put out value plays there as well. So a lot to unpack, but there's also a lot of information to help you become a better DFS player. So If you have had success with us before, if you like what we bring to the table, hit the like button and leave a comment so it helps the algorithm. It helps us out as well. So just kind of looking at the Vegas numbers, Lakers Warriors 238 over under. So with Curry most likely out, that, well, depending, I guess. Let's see, is he going to be in or out? He's questionable. Oh, they are expecting him to suit up. Whether or not he gets the minutes, that's the key. Played the 7th and then was out. So he's still highly priced, but it's a competitive game. This is one of those games where I feel like he could go off if he plays. So I feel like you want exposure to this Lakers game. You want exposure because it is the highest over-under. Next one, Pacers Nets. Pacers are always a high-scoring game. 227.5. We've got Bulls versus Wizards. Bulls are a 10.5 point favorite, so I'm a little bit scared of this. Dealing with possible blowouts, so that's definitely something to look at. We've got Jazz versus Timberwolves, 8-point spread, 224. It goes down a little bit. We've got Kings Knicks 221, and then Grizzly Thunder 219. So just something to look at. You lower ones, you could pick and choose some players, but it just depends on how you are when we build our lineups out there. So that being said, just going over the top 5. Now these are tournament plays. If you want to see all of the plays, you want to see the article down below, this is yesterday's article, but by the time you watch this, our article is probably out. But we've added the DVP, which makes it look great. Obviously, you want green. So DVP and these numbers are not these numbers, okay? For whatever reason, these are off because I don't know. Do not follow what's on DraftKings. Do not follow what's on Fanduel. These are off. We have them on our cheat sheet with our projections. And in the article below, we'll have 3 top, 3 mid, and 3 value picks at each position. So the top 5 point guards that I'm looking at in our GPP order, Jordan Poole versus Chicago. He's got an 11 DVP here where you can see it says 8. So it's a little bit better with DVP rather than that. We got Ayo Dosunmu here against Washington. On the flip side of this, 27th DVP, which I really love. CJ McCollum versus Portland, also 27th DVP. And these guys are all in the 6,000 range. So you're not paying up for SGA at 10,500, Halliburton at 9,300, like Steph Curry at 8,900. You're in the 6,000 range. So you're able to build a lineup that way. Number 4 is Josh Giddey going up against Memphis. He does have 5th DVP here, but I still like that. And then number 5 is TJ McConnell, $4,500 player on DraftKings, 8th DVP right here. So these are the top 5 tournaments as of right now. So what can change is we wait throughout the day. All of these questionable tags, all of these out players, or all of these probable, questionable, whatever they are. News will come out throughout the day, which will then shift if they are out. Obviously, it will shift value plays up, which can change a little bit. So what I'll tell you is about an hour before tip-off. Do your research throughout the day, but an hour before tip-off, go check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Go check out our projections. So the projections will be updated. The simulations will be updated as well. And those will be updated with the news that comes out. So hopefully, when you look at the article, some of the value plays probably have changed because some players are already ruled out, which will bump up the obviously projected minutes and usage out of some of these players. So for shooting guard, really love me number 1 here as of right now. Love me some Alex Caruso against Washington, 27th DVP. Cam Thomas against Indiana, and you want exposure to this Indiana game because they are always high scoring. They are always high paced. Cam Thomas, he is 6,900, so he's up there in price, but 28th DVP. Trey Murphy III against Portland. He is getting pricey, but 6,100, 7th DVP there. We've got Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves obviously would jump up if LeBron or AD are one of them are out, or both. I don't think they will be. But Austin Reeves, number 4, going up against Golden State, a high-scoring game. 16th DVP right in the middle. And then Tyrese Maxey against Charlotte, 8,500 price on DraftKings. 21 DVP. Charlotte's not good. They give up a ton of fantasy points. Tyrese Maxey is 8,500, like I said. Then we move to small forward. You've got DeMar DeRozan, absolutely been killing it when we've used him. Used him 2 games ago, went off for 67.25. And then this is what I'm telling you. Check the games, see if it is a second game of a back-to-back for any player. Because if they go for 67, unless they're Luka, unless they're Jokic, probably the next game might be a little bit lower if it's the next day. And DeRozan was there at 31.25. Obviously went off for 67.25. Now he's got a matchup against Washington, who gives up a ton of fantasy points against every position. So DeRozan at 8,200 might be one of my favorite plays. Might be. We've got number 3 is Lou Dort. He's 4,300, so he's a tournament play. Again, these are a lot of tournament plays, but Lou Dort doesn't have the best DVP at 5, but as of now, got a lot going for him at his price tag of 4,300. Tumani Kamara is a value option here at 4,500 against New Orleans, 14th DVP. So he's in the middle, right at the middle. And then if LeBron is in, I do love LeBron. It's just a big, will he be? So they took him off point guard. They put him to small forward and power forward. He's questionable with an ankle, but he's been questionable every single day. He's played these games. The problem is with cash, you're looking for basically 7.5 times value. He's only gotten 5 times value for the last few games. But this could be a game where he shows up and shows out. So LeBron, I don't mind him at all. So we move to power forward. Another value option for Chicago versus Washington, Torrey Craig. So we look at him. The minutes have been there. At his price, the fantasy points have been there. He is now up to 4,000. But again, Washington gives up a ton of points. They give up a ton to every single position. Torrey Craig is a cheap option at 4,000. Allows you to pay up for a LeBron. Allows you to pay up for Steph or DeMar or whoever, SGA, whoever you want to pay up for. These plays hopefully help you out a little bit. Second one is Zion. Zion scares me just a little bit. Just depending, 8,400. His price has just steadily gone up. He's gone up in value, coming off 55.25, which would be amazing at this price. So Zion's my number 2. Number 3 is Jalen Smith in this high-scoring affair. Hopefully, he's 4,100. DVP not the best out of him for 3, but he should be in store for a game that should pay off his $4,100 salary. Number 4 is Paul Reed against Charlotte. Again, Charlotte's not a good team. They give up a ton of points. Hopefully, it is him and not the other plethora of centers / power forwards that they have for Philly. But 5,300 and 18th DVP, I don't mind Paul Reed at all. And then number 5 is Jalen Williams against Memphis. Memphis is not a good team, like I've said. 6,900 out of Jalen, but he's got a 22 DVP out of 30 too. So out of 30, so that is a fantastic matchup for him. Then we get to center position. Anthony Davis, we know he's questionable. Will he play? Most likely. Probable. We're looking, he had not such a good game against Sacramento. 41 minutes, 44 fantasy points, but had 85 against Minnesota. Going up against Golden State, I want to see, put up 53 against them there. Not the best, but he's in a good spot here. 19th DVP, 10,200. If he could stay healthy, he doesn't get hurt, could have a big game. Obviously, with LeBron being in there, it takes him down a little bit, but I think he could still have a big game here. And number 2 is DeAndre Ayton at 8,000, 27th DVP against New Orleans. A fantastic matchup for him. Number 3 is Miles Turner versus Brooklyn. 3rd DVP, so not the best, but I don't mind him at 6,500. Number 4 is Nick Claxton against Indy. Indy, like I said, it should be a high-scoring game. It should be a lot of fantasy points to go around. Claxton at 6,800, 9th DVP. Again, these are tournament plays. I don't know how much exposure I'll have to him. Probably under the field a little bit, but as of right now, he's projected, what is it? What did we have him projected at? I can't remember. As of right now, it was like 30% ownership. It's probably going to go down by now. And then number 5 is Chet Holmgren against Memphis. 15 DVP, so right in the middle. He's 7,400 on DraftKings. And Chet has been serviceable. We haven't used him a ton this year. Coming off a bad game here, but had a good game against Indy, so it was a high-paced game. Against Memphis, he did play Memphis on the 10th, but only played 22 minutes, 21 fantasy points. So he had just under 1 fantasy point per minute, but if he could play 30, 35 minutes and get that 1 point per minute minimum, he would be a pretty good play here. But again, we just need to see some news that comes out. Obviously, you would like if like SGA was out of the game or another player was out of that starting lineup for him, but I'm okay using him as well. So there you have it. Those are 5 players at each position. If you want to see every single projection we have, that's on the website. Go to FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So let's build a lineup here, okay? Using some of the plays that we just talked about, using some of these, I want to go... So I said I wanted to use McConnell in this game against Brooklyn. The minutes, see, when he plays 20 minutes, he's getting 30 plus. When he plays less than that, he gets less than that. So in this game, hopefully the game stays relatively close. We can get him at 4,500, which allows us to pay up at other positions. So we're not going to use the fantasy points allowed by position tool. We're going to build a lineup based on my top 5. Let's see if you guys like it this way. So a little bit different what you're used to. These are my top 5s at each position. We'll build from there. So the second one was Caruso, 5,800, 30th DVP. A fantastic, huge games here out of him. So we've got Caruso, number 2. This one's a little bit, it's a questionable tag. Same games. His price is getting up there, but he's dominated. So going to lock him in. Is 7,000. He is up there in price. I get that. But he's performed most, if you look at this, outside of the game against Memphis, he's performed well. Playing against this one, like we said, his DVP here, what was it? 22nd against Washington, or against Chicago. So he's got a great DVP, and should go under-owned on a slate like this with all the other bigger names here at small forward. So move to the power forward position. Like I said, big guy, big on DeMar DeRozan. Washington gives up a ton. So if you look at DeMar at power forward, you look at power forward here. So we're not using this tool completely, but Washington, they're giving up an average of 50.3 fantasy points to this position. If you look at his price at 8,200, obviously you would love to see that. So for cash, like I've said, 7.5, basically what you're looking for. So if you do the math there, and he's 8,200 times 7.5, you're looking at 61.5. So right about, like, he has the chance to get that. DeMar DeRozan can score that, especially against Washington. So now we move to the center position. Another play that we talked about was DeAndre Ayton against New Orleans. So we look at Ayton. We look at the minutes are there, 40 plus minutes, coming off 51.62, which would be awesome at his 8,000 price, which I feel very confident against. Again, when you're building your lineup, you're not going to get 7.5 out of every single player. You're going to find that value. So let's say DeAndre Ayton does get 8 times value, or let's say he gets 6 times value. But because we have someone like TJ McConnell in there at 4,500, if he got 10 times value at 45 fantasy points, that would obviously help our lineup, and it would also help us with our projections out, because not everyone is going to get 7,500, but that's kind of, or 7.5 times value, right, give or take, but that's a step in the right direction. That's a good starting point for cash. For tournaments, you want 8.5 times value. You're not going to get that from everybody, but if you can find those value plays at 4,500 or less, and they get 6 or 7 times value, you're probably going to be in a pretty good spot in your lineups. So, another one we talked about, Dosunmu. I hopefully we can fit this lineup in there. So by doing this, our forward and our utility are both right around 5,200, which I feel we probably can get because I've got another value play under my belt here. So we've used him a ton. Coming off a bad game against the Clippers, played 35 minutes. I think that's going to deter people off of him. I like this matchup for him. Again, Washington, just looking at his and we talked about this, I can't remember at the moment. He's got 20, yeah, so using him as a guard, they are 27 DVP against guards. At 6,000, I'm completely okay with that in this matchup against Washington. Did he just play them not long ago, or no? It was somebody else. Okay. But one bad game there, and he's had 30 plus out of the other ones. He's 6,000. Again, that's only 5 times value, but I do like me, so I like this. I like this matchup for him here. Again, this is a tournament lineup. This is a lineup you can mix and match, not just a copy paste and that's it. So bring that to your attention when you're looking at that. But I do love me some Ayo in this lineup. So we moved to forward. Looking at the forward, there's a lot of players you could look at, but obviously you got to get down to an average about 5,200, give or take 5,200 is what we're looking at. But like I said, and we use this, one, you could look at LaRavia. We could look at him. Minutes have been there for him. Coming off not the best game against Charlotte, which was a good matchup for him. Now he's playing Memphis, or he's playing OKC. Played them on the 10th, went off for 24.75, so less than 5 times value. We used him when he against Philly and Brooklyn, and then he's gone down a little bit, so he's an option for you. Moses Moody could be an option, but with Curry being back, he's probably off the table. We're probably not looking at him. He's 4,800. I don't see how he hits 20 minutes in this one unless someone gets hurt or if Steph is actually out. So that's one to look at. Another one would be, and this was one we talked about, Lou Dort at 4,300. So we look at him against Memphis. So small forward, let's see what Memphis does against small forwards. So we look at Memphis. They give up an average of 44.6 fantasy points, which would be at his price. So they don't give up a ton. They are really far down there. But at his price of 4,300, that's basically 10 times value. Will he get that? We'll see. Probably not. But at his price of 4,300, it's a salary saver here. So now we're at 6,200 for utility instead of 5,200, which now this brings us to a whole plethora of better options here. So you got G.G. Jackson or Gregory Jackson. Been pretty good, but his price is going up there. You got Trey Murphy, which we've talked about. We did not talk about Podziemski, but I'm weary of him if Steph is back. That's my problem. With Curry being out, he has that extra usage, but with Curry being in, he's probably going to be relegated down a little bit. Again, anything can happen. He would be an option you could look at. Kelly Oubre Jr. here against, he's actually had a couple of bad games, especially his price at 6,000. The one I'm looking at, Jordan Poole. We talked about it. So Jordan Poole, and this was my number one tournament option at point guard. 11th DVP, so not the best DVP against Chicago, but we look at this, the minutes, they're going to be there. The outage has been here, so this is actually a pretty solid lineup. Again, not the only way to build a lineup. This is using both NBA points allowed by position tool and some of our projections out there. So I only gave you the top 5 in this video. If you want to see all of them, if you want to see all of the projections, you want to see every single player that's at least projected for 1 fantasy point or more, that is at FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. That is under the NBA tab, and that is under player projections. On top of that, we have sports betting. We have top plays. So both Fanduel and DraftKings, the plays are DVP and implied team totals. So everyone on there that makes sense, you can go check that out under the top plays. The chalk plays, if you play cash, you want to look at the chalk. You want to stay towards the top of the chalk. If you play tournaments, you want to look at that. We have the players out there, top I think it's top 10 at each position, and then we have ownership percentages and their fantasy point projections. So you can combine those. Obviously, if you're playing tournaments, you want to look at the lower owned guys at each position with high expected usage and high projected out fantasy points, and that is how you build a tournament lineup using chalk. Fantasy points allowed by position makes sense. The NBA DFS player trends. So what these are every single player. It goes between DraftKings and Fanduel, spreads and totals. So it shows you how these players have performed this season when they have been the certain spread that the current game is at and the certain total the game is at. So you can go check those out. Those are part of the FTA Plus there. Our simulation models, you can go check those out. It goes from 4.5 to, I think, 8 times. It goes from 4.5 times value, how the percentage they've gotten 4.5 times value. So what that is the current salary. So this is part of the DFS Hero content. The simulations are part of DFS Hero. We've put them on the site as well for you. It goes from 4.5 times value projected out to 8.5. So just for instance, looking at this one as of now, these are through 20,000 simulations. It's DeMar DeRozan. We've got his projected fantasy points. We've got his floor, median, and ceiling. We've got projected minutes out there. And then his simulations. 75% of the time in the 20 simulations, he's got 4.5 times his value, which obviously is perfect. If you keep moving up, we look 8.5 times value, 1.33%. As opposed to like a Jordan Poole, because his price is obviously lower. It's $2,000 lower than DeRozan. But with Jordan Poole, we loved him at his projected number 1 point guard for us. Looking at about 12.5% ownership out of Jordan Poole, which is kind of low. It seems pretty low. But we look at this. At 6,200, 4.5 times value. He hit that 71% of the time in these projections or simulations. And then 8.5 times value, he hit 7.47% of the time. So that would be perfect. And that's one of the highest projections at his price at 8.5 times value. So that's what you're looking for tournaments, basically right at 8.5. Jordan Poole, through all simulations. Obviously, real world things happen. He could get hurt. He could get benched, whatever. But if he plays the entire game, the simulations have been pretty damn good. So definitely check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. We've got the NBA bets. We also have the Vegas odds, which we've gone over. And then we have the article as well. So that is what I've got in this video. If you found it helpful, if you found it useful, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's have a great weekend. If you are part of FTA Plus, you know what to expect. If you are not, we have currently PGAs going on. Lineups are doing pretty good right now. NASCAR's tomorrow, NBA today, tomorrow, the next day, NFL next season, MLB, we're about a week and a half away from it, I believe, or 2 weeks away from it. 2 weeks, less than, 2 weeks of last Thursday, right? Or of past Thursday. So we're very excited. A lot going on. If you have questions, get those down below. And let's just have a great Saturday, whatever you're doing. So good luck today. And as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace.